Hello and welcome. My name is Jocelyn and today we are going to be doing a Shop My Stash for the month of June. I know that things are a little bit crazy right now, but if you're anything like me, you might need a mental break from the overwhelming events that are going on in the world. Very important events, don't get me wrong, please, at all, but thinking about the events 24/7, morning to evening, and I would like to have some content for you to maybe take a little bit of a break from those events. And we are doing a Shop My Stash again for the month of June, where I go through my makeup collection and pick new things to use for the coming month. This helps rotate through my collection, keep eyes on everything, and I do have a few new items that I was actually using last month that I'm going to continue to use for this month. I'm pretty excited about the things that I have in mind to pull in for this month, so I hope that you will enjoy this video. All right, let's get started. So here is the first drawer where I have foundations, concealers, primers, and powders. I'm not going to be pulling any foundations in, but I am going to bring in this primer right here. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. It's been a while since I've used this. Quite a few months actually, so I would like to bring it back into use. This is one of the few primers that I really enjoy using, so it's exciting to bring that back in. I also recently, last month, picked up this right here. I don't think this is something you've seen on my channel yet. This is the Bite Beauty Changemaker Flexible Coverage Pressed Powder in Light 1. I have used this a bit last month, so if I open it up, you will see again that I have used this a bit. I actually really like this. I wasn't sure about it, but I do enjoy the finish that it gives on my skin. I do want to bring in, I think I want to bring in the Ciate London Everyday Vacay powder. So this I use, but whenever I use a foundation or I want just a little extra setting, I want to be able to reach for a powder. So both of these are going to come in, and then I also want to bring in a concealer. I think that this RMS, well, I actually know that this RMS is a little too dark for me right now. I recently used the two concealers on the outside. I think the Smashbox is a little too dark, so I think that I want to try and use this ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. It's been a while since I've used this, and if I remember right, I didn't really like it, so I want to get some more use out of it. I am still using up a concealer, and I have the Hourglass concealer still in my beauty box, but I'm almost done with the concealer I'm trying to use up, so I thought I would bring this one in to use. And that is actually going to do it for this drawer. Alright, moving down into my cheek drawer, one thing that you may notice is this right here. This is the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer. I got this the same time that I got the Bite Changemaker powder. So both of these came in the mail, I think at the beginning of May, and so I didn't get to include them in my Shop My Stash, but I did start using them. So if I open this up, you will actually see that there is quite a bit of usage in this. I'm actually wearing this today, and I have worn this almost every single day for the month of May because I love it so much. This is the only cream bronzer that I've ever used, and like I just said, I really love it. I got mine in the shade Butter Biscuit, and I just love the way it looks. I love the way that it blends. This is just such a beautiful formula. I was really hesitant to pick this up because I really just was like, oh, you know, I don't know if I'll use it. I don't know if I'll like it. I don't know how good the formula is. But I saw so many people rave about it, and I'd been wanting to try more cream products. And if you're familiar with my collection, I only have one other bronzer, so I thought that it was a really good add to my collection. And sure enough, I love it so much. So we're gonna bring this in again for the month of June to use. And let's see, I do want to bring in some blushes. So we're moving into June. I kind of want to bring in a palette. I'm kind of leaning towards this Stephen Klein palette because it has this orange in here that I would like to get some use out of. I don't think I want to bring this in. I might bring the Jacqueline palette in for the month of July. And I don't think I want to bring that Tarte one in. So yeah, I think I want to bring in this Stephen Klein and NARS palette. This is pretty old in my collection because NARS is not cruelty free, and I've been cruelty free for a while now. I'd like to get some use out of these blushes down here. And I guess if I ever want to reach for a powder bronzer, then I've got these two up here. So this is going to come in, and I need to bring in some highlighters. I think that I want to bring in two, the first of which is what I got in my BoxyCharm last month. I was so thrilled. If you guys saw that BoxyCharm unboxing, then you'll have seen my reaction when I got this. I did not know that I was getting this, but it was a choice last month and I did not choose it because it was sold out when I went to choose. This is what the highlighter looks like. It's really beautiful. I don't know if you'll really be able to see it very well, but it's this real, oh my god, look at that. I'm so excited. So I haven't used this one yet, but I'm thrilled to pull it in for the month. Oh my god, look at that. It's such a beautiful like pink. I'm so excited. So this is coming in for the month of June, but I want something else. I think that I want to bring in this one right here, the Ofra highlight that is more of an ivory highlight in the shade. Oh, this is Glazed Donut. Yeah, I want to bring this in. I want to get some use out of this Kaja, but it's a little too dark, as is the ColourPop on the Cusp. Some of these I'll have to use later in the year, but I think I want to bring this one in. Okay, so moving down, I do currently have 6 palettes on my vanity right now, so I don't want to add too many in, but I did pick up this palette well, I don't want to say recently because it was a couple months ago now. This Kaleidos palette comes from overseas, so it takes quite a while to get here, and this is one that I almost picked up with my very first Kaleidos order, but ended up going with 2 different ones. But I always felt like I missed out and that I loved the looks that came from this palette. This is the Kaleidos Electro Turquoise palette, and it is so stinking beautiful. Look at this. If you look at their website, people get the most beautiful looks from this palette. I'm so excited to finally own it, and of course, like all the other Kaleidos palettes, I just love the packaging on these so much. So I have not used this yet, but I am so excited to, and I think it's very appropriate for summertime. Look at that, it just screams pool party to me. Ooh, you know what? I think that I'm only gonna bring in that palette because I recently rolled in 2 new palettes to my Pan Those Shadows project pan. So I have both of those brand new palettes to use for this month, and then also I know that I'm getting a palette for my birthday, which is next week, as a matter of fact. So that's a brand new palette that I'll be able to play with. So I think that I'm gonna go ahead and not bring any more palettes in, since that'll be 8 palettes in my Shop My Stash rotation. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it, which I think this is the only time I'm only pulling in 1 new palette from this drawer, which is crazy. Alright, so moving on to my Muji drawers, there's actually 2 shadows that I'm going to pull in from this. And the first is this Morphe shadow. I bought this so long ago. This is one of their pressed pigments. I don't even know if they sell these anymore. So this is in the shade Rodeo Drive. It's this really beautiful copper color. There it's swatched right there. So I want to bring this in, and then I also want to bring in this Sydney Grace glitter. This is one of their loose pigments in Comforting Lights. It's this really beautiful kind of duochrome red purple color, really stunning. So I want to bring those in, and that's going to do it for this drawer. And the only other drawer I'm going to pull down is this one right here, because I want to bring in this ColourPop Satin Mini. This is in the shade Frickin' Frack. It's this really pretty terracotta kind of color, and it's a little dark, and I haven't really been wearing, I've been wearing a lot of more glossy, lower coverage kind of lipsticks, so I don't know if I'll get a lot of use out of this, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in. That's the only new lip product I'm gonna be using. I've been using a ton of these lipsticks, so these are the ones that I primarily go towards. Next time I do a declutter, I think that I might be getting rid of a lot of lipsticks, but we'll have to see, just because I really have not been gravitating towards liquid lipsticks or really heavy, drying, uncomfortable lipsticks. So we'll have to see, but for now, I'm just gonna bring in this one lipstick. All right, now that we have all of the picks, I'm gonna go ahead and fill up my beauty box. All right, so we're finished. So up here, we just added the 1 lipstick and the 2 eyeshadows. And then in here, oh, actually nothing changed, and I don't have to switch out my pigments yet, which I have not gotten any use out of yet. So in here, if you didn't know, if you're not familiar with my Shop My Stash videos, every 2 months I circulate out my ColourPop Zodiac pigments for the next 2 coming zodiac signs, and we just entered Gemini season, which is this pigment right here, so I really need to actually use these. So I have the Gemini and I have actually the twins in the bowl, so I need to get some use out of those this month, because next month we're going to be rolling in 2 other ones, which is very exciting. So nothing in here changed though. Next drawer down, we did add this concealer and this primer, this highlighter, and then this bronzer. This is something that I picked up during my first Sephora order. This is another one of Fenty's recently released cream products. This is the cream blush in the shade Petal Poppin'. I haven't used this as much as the bronzer because I can't use this shade every day, but I have really loved using this. Big fan of cream products nowadays, and I would love to pick up more of these. And down to the last drawer, this is looking a tiny bit bare, but we did add these 2 powders, and that's actually it. But I do also want to point out that I have been using this liquid highlighter. This is by Iconic London. This came in a BoxyCharm. It was either this last month or the month before that, and I have been loving this. I've used this so often also, so very excited to keep using this. All right, so we just had 2 things to add here. So all of these, oh actually, so this, and this are all part of my Pan Those Shadows project pans. There's an eyeshadow in each of these. This Zodiac palette and the Huda Beauty palette are brand new that I rolled in during this last update. And then this Zoeva palette is actually not in any project pan. I've had this sitting here for like 2 months, and today was the first day that I actually used it. I used this, and this shade. So those 4 shades to create my eyeshadow look today, and I am absolutely in love. These 2 matte shades blended beautifully. Like, I didn't have to put in any effort at all, and this champagne pink was beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it in to get some more use out of it. I'd like to try and find a way to incorporate this green shade, maybe with the brown, maybe this shade over here. I don't know, we'll have to see. But so far, I really am happy with this. But I've only used it the 1 time, so we're gonna go ahead and leave it in. All right, and there you have it. Those are the products that I will be using for the month of June, unless I get new products or get gifted products for my birthday. I don't plan on making any makeup purchases anytime soon. So, unless I get something for my birthday, this is probably the bulk of what I'll be using for the month of June. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe for more content, don't forget to do so before you go. All of those buttons are down below. And I think that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.